Welcome to another Trading Psychology podcast episode. This is season 4, episode 7. Move out your way. There can be no trading discipline if life itself is lived without discipline. Watching the opening ceremony of the Olympics got me to thinking about all the high-level athletes competing in all the high-level sporting events, all of which involves a high level of skill, discipline, repetition, and very little margin for error, all of which applies to becoming the best trader you can be. Create a lifestyle that builds your strengths. Firstly, to become good at anything, including trading, we must internalize what we consistently do. So this is about the process. These athletes, for example, have a set routine and process whereby they dedicate huge amounts of their lives to becoming consistent. Where their friends are perhaps going out partying and drinking at the weekend, they are training. Simply put, by consistently exercising their strengths through the process of repetition, they are becoming the best they can be. Therefore, apply the same rules to becoming successful at anything, including trading. Because what we do outside the markets ultimately finds its expression in our trading. There can be no trading discipline if life itself is lived without discipline. Profitable trading requires intensity of focus and flexibility of focus as we shift from generating ideas to executing and managing trades. This requires balance. So if we live a distracted life, we unwittingly undermine the cognitive strengths needed for market success. Your competition isn't other people. Your competition is your ego, your lack of discipline, your bad habits, your distractions, your insecurities, and your fears. The degree to which we actively structure our calendars and daily routine makes a real difference to our performance. For example, have been working alongside traders who have recently struggled to stick to any regular routine due to external factors. Lack of internet, travelling whilst on holiday, sick relative, personal theft. Despite being fully aware of the challenges they face and the impact this is having on their ability to focus and to be present at the right time when markets are setting up to print money, they are resilient enough not to be phased because they understand the nature of the game and because they are not quitters. Sometimes external factors can't be avoided, so can only be managed as best as. This is where my role as a mentor and primary support becomes key in assisting with their overall performance. Trading is a performance activity. This profession is one that builds upon our talents and skills. Whatever you do that is successful in markets will be an expression of what you've already done successfully in life. We find our passion in expressing our talents. This is often what drives us to build skills and ultimately help bolster our trading psychology by trusting the process we implement. A masterpiece painting is crafted one brush stroke at a time. A masterpiece life is created one purposeful, meaningful day at a time. A successful trader is created one trade at a time. The trader who blatantly gambled and overtraded his account into oblivion did not have a process, so did not know what key changes to make to avoid killing his account. A reminder then that motivation and passion alone does not guarantee success. What predicts success among trading developers and developing traders, I should say, is, well, I've spent many years working with developing traders. Here are 4 things I've learned about what makes some successful whilst others not. Firstly, not all profess motivation are hard workers, and not all hard workers work smart. Second of all, starting out with a drive to make money is, if anything, associated with greater odds of failure, not to mention the emotional turmoil when things go wrong. There is this association between dedicated effort and success, but it's the ability to channel motivation into constructive effort that is key to success. I will cover this in another more detailed podcast another time. Suffice to say, the use of a good mentor can help with this. Thirdly, the more a trader professes to knowing what they're doing and demonstrates passion and motivation, the more I tend to dig to look for substance. Quite often I come away with very little, and that's okay. It means we have an opportunity to wipe the slate clean and start fresh. Fourth, the learning that goes on before a trader risks money, as well as the detail that goes into their journal and actual way in which they review and journal, are predictive of success. Simply put, when you consistently review and assess and build upon these reviews over time, you increase the probability of success. Why? Because you're building a fuller picture from the data and experience you collate. Unsuccessful traders who simply overtrade and have zero risk management, they take away isolated and fragmented bits of learning. It's all just a bit ad hoc with their findings, often not enough to sway their decision-making process. Successful traders identify areas to improve and then set out a curriculum to learn in a cumulative, coordinated fashion, often seeking support from a mentor to help put things in order. True deliberate practice is a significant predictor of success. Again, we'll cover this another time. Innovation is predictive of success. So over the years, I've been working with lots of traders, and I've seen very few successful traders. The few who are successful develop multiple ways to profit in markets. They have a handful of strategies, for example, to accommodate different scenarios, trends, and seasonality. They don't just look at the same things as everyone else and just copy social media gurus. Generally, they don't think about markets the same way as most. I recently spoke with a trader in the US who I used to work with and trade with back in 2008. He trades options on the S&P 500 and looks for trade patterns similar to technical analysis associated with macroeconomic data releases. Sometimes his trades capture patterns of volatility, sometimes directional trending patterns, sometimes patterns of relative value, particularly where a market or stock is deemed as overvalued, so presents an opportunity to short. He describes it as playing on a multi-dimensional chessboard, which provides him with multiple ways to win. Summary. Success in markets, as with anything, comes in stages. First with learning different concepts and strategies, then by observing patterns and outcomes, next by practicing the trading process to develop consistency in performance, finally cultivating new sources of edge such as informational, analytical, decision-making and organisational. This is where I serve to provide a role of support utilising my many years' experience. Traders fail due to their temptation to short-circuit this process. Quite often you are the root problem, so just need to remove yourself from the equation. The quality of the learning process impacts and shapes the positivity of a trader's mindset. A positive psychology does not create success. A positive psychology is the result of focused learning and the exercise of creative problem solving. Simply pressing buttons, entering a trade on impulse without prepping or following a set process, that essentially is just chasing moves through fear of missing out and increases the probability for failure, not success. No amount of self-help exercises will substitute for skill development and the capacity to uncover fresh sources of opportunity. Note this, there is an overlap between the qualities of successful traders and that of successful entrepreneurs. Innovation plus focus plus detailed effort turns dreams into realities.